Welcome to Sketch City, y'all.
Yeah, welcome to Sketch City. I am the power plant now. Okay, so here you can see the problem. Itty bitty, extra hefty.
Big mama jama.
Now you see why this was a dumb idea, but I said I'm gonna do it, so I'm gonna do my damnedest to make Steven do it for me.
Pretty much.
Well, here we go, let's get those wheels out on the road. It may get dusty, but that's the way she goes. We'll build some greasy old cars and drink our AGD. Hey, don't you know, it's partly built.
Alrighty, guys. So, with the step side, like, what I think to be 90% done, but from what everyone else probably would think is like 30% done. It's good enough for me, runs and drives. So, we're gonna move on to the V-12 Jag and a nice Corvette. Fun times. V-12 Jag.
Nice Corvette. Don't look at the bumper, or the paint, or the wore out interior. But yeah, we're gonna get it moved. It has an LS for now. We're gonna get it moved, and we're gonna get the whole thing up on jack stands. We're gonna have to probably pop the front tires off, because anybody that's worked on a C3 Corvette knows, unless you have a home-built engine jack, you've got to come in from the side, so the wheels get in the way, the jack stands get in the way. It's a freaking nightmare. But first things first, we're going to move it. We're going to rip the hood off. We're going to get the V8, not the V12. We're going to get the 6-liter out of it. Then we're going to pull the world's worst 3-speed that hemorrhages fluid from every orifice. It's going in the bush. And then maybe we'll put some steering in it, because right now the front wheels do this.
It can kerchew itself. Really
Nothing
well.
is hooked up to anything, so that's the plan. We'll see how far we get today.
See what happens.
Let's get it moved. We're going to start by taking off the hood, and then we'll pull a bunch of the auxiliary stuff off the engine, like the coil packs, possibly the manifolds, probably most of, if not all, of the front drive. And then we'll just undo some bell housing bolts and get her out of there. And once we get the engine out, we'll start working on getting the tranny out. But I have a feeling, we got the car up in the air quite a bit so we can get under it. I have a feeling when we go to lift the engine out, we're probably gonna have to set the front end down a bit, but that's not a big deal. I just don't think we're gonna get enough lift over the fender, because on Corvette, it has to come out over the fender. So, but yeah, there's your 6-liter LS truck motor. And there's your Jag V12. Good Lord, I hope my ambition holds out, but let's get started. So here, you can see the problem. Itty bitty, extra hefty.
Big mama jama.
Aside from 200 pounds heavier with V12, there is some definite size difference here. So this, engine itself without the, well, even with the crank stick out from the bell housing, 26.5. This, 36.5. So picture, that's my V12. Now you see why this was a dumb idea, but I said I'm gonna do it, so I'm gonna do my damnedest to make Steven do it for me.
Pretty much.
Okay, so the LS is out, or what it actually is a
LQ4 or whatever.
LQ4, not an LS. Came out of an 01
Get those LS
GM 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive with 243,000 kilometers. I paid a very high price for this 6-liter. I bought the whole truck it was in. The transmission was missing and a couple of little sensors and stuff off the engine were missing. It was a rode-off truck we had at work. I bought it for $1.05, the entire truck, because they made me pay taxes on it.
One whole dog here.
They made me pay my taxes on it, so it was an extra 5 cents. But it's pretty good when you can get a $1,000 engine. I think that was what they were wanting for 6 liters at the time, for $1.
And we have a place where we can go to get many more for that same close kind of price.
Well, no, they'll be about 200 bucks there.
$200, but still dirt cheap.
So
Or
I got a guy that has a 64 Chevelle. I haven't heard from him in a while, but he wanted to buy this from me. And I'm debating whether I should sell this or just get one of those other ones and sell it to him and keep this for something, because, I mean, it is a 6-liter, so it's got to be worth something for me to keep. Steven really wants to do a sloppy LS build. We just got to find the right vehicle to do it in.
Nothing but anything of mine though. I'm all Hemis.
Yeah, Steven's all Hemis, but yeah, so we're just gonna stuff this in the corner. Next step is to get that leaking POS transmission, 3-speed garbage, I've always hated it, out of the car. So we can put something useful in there later. And you're gonna see something really rare over here. I think Steven's actually cleaning up his own tools.
I'm not overly, I'm just kind of getting things put away-ish.
Well, we posted online that we were putting the V12 on the Corvette today. So look, an audience shows up. But he's got a good toque on, so we let him stay. But we got the tranny out, we got the engine out, cut some of the exhaust out, and we got the V12. We stripped the mounts off it, and then we just took the adapter plates off the 6-liter and just put them on there with one bolt to try and see how far back we need to make these mounts. But we're gonna start trying to put it in, so fingers crossed.
See how she fits. No, waiting doesn't help either. Do we have, no, we don't have any ATF here, do we?
You are almost high enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this thing must be on oil.
All right.
Is it actually tall enough?
Yep.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pushing it, so if you smash the fender, I'm not gonna blame.
It's so heavy. Okay, keep straight about that. Foot up in front of me, Steven. Don't go here. Don't go here. Easy. It's just clear.
Okay, we're inside the fender. Oh god. Hit the jack stand?
No.
Oh.
Jump on the floor. Whoa. Go down slowly.
Oh.
Your cameraman.
Okay, I'm gonna have you.
Just tap the screen, you can
keep
see what's
going.
going on. And you can just tip it up and down right here. Should be just loose enough. Okay, go down. Slow.
Doc, we got like 8 inches we can go backwards.
Yeah. Can you move the legs?
Hold on a sec here. Get a bit lower on her.
That's good, because we've got clear pan on those mounts.
Just sorry,
Slide over
easy.
a little bit. Good.
Was that all the way back?
Just about. We go down now. Okay, pull it towards you. How are we side to side, Steve? Jones? Got him more than Steven, I think.
We're pretty close.
yeah.
I think just a bit more with me though.
Okay, whoa.
There we go. That should shove a bit more to the driver so they'll lower it down.
And the front end, we can just sit it right on the cross member and keep going. Keep going. It can come back. Whoa. Actually, that's pretty much where the GM engine sat.
Well, she ain't clearing until we do some clearancing.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
It's just kind of cocked inside one of the
There we
grooves.
go, just sat nice though. So we got a clearance for sure. Okay, so we got our first initial set in here of the V12. And as you can see, it's a little tall.
Just a skook 'em.
So we're gonna have to do a ton of clearancing on this front cross member. We might end up even having to see if I can get a tubular one. I don't know if they make one or not.
Yeah.
Because actually the front and the back of the engine both have to go down. And the back can go down quite a bit. The back actually needs to drop about 4 inches. And then we actually would have the clearance if we can make that front end fit. And then as you can see, these mount plates that we just put in there because we had them need to be about 3 inches longer. And we can even use these factory engine mounts. Once it drops down a little bit, I don't think it'll be an issue.
No.
So
I think next is actually.
there you go. I said I was going to do a V12 Corvette. I did it. Steven, let's take this out and put the V8 back in.
Hey, also looking at this. On our pre-measurements, we were concerned about exhaust hitting the control arms. We have tons of.
Yeah, but the engine's got to drop about 5-6 inches.
Yes, the drops are, but we still have good clearance.
Yeah, we got good clearance side to side, like especially
Yeah, we
because
have
it's
a couple
cold.
inches, so we can have just hard 90s going up to the first 2 runners.
Well, that's how they are.
Yeah, so this won't actually be that bad to get everything to fit. And honestly, I don't
It'll
know
just be the downpipes that won't fit.
Yeah.
The cooling system's a mother, but we can deal with that later. That's easy enough
Yeah.
because that's aluminum. We can pull it off and weld on that.
Honestly, we can just
Yeah.
scoop in there anyways. It's not a huge problem.
Whew.
I'm honestly surprised at how well it fits.
There you go. That is a V12. Steven, that's a V12 in a Corvette, buddy.
I have a V12 in her.
Good Lord. So how do we clearance that cross member?
I think our best bet is to cut down, cut across, and gusset it in, and just let this thing
Well, cut the chunk out, flip it over, and weld it back in.
let this thing sit inside of it. Now, what we'll do is we'll run a straight edge across on these 2 points, just so the mat there or a rag. And we'll just measure roughly how tall this is. We know roughly how much it's going to
Do you have a piece of flat aluminum or something?
Yeah, I got a
Here, I'm gonna
flat piece.
set the camera back up.
Sounds like the old country. Yeah. It's gonna be a little funky, but
Yeah, the front of the engine roughly. It can't really move back anymore either.
no, we're pretty much just far back as we
Where the tranny, like where the engine sat before, so that the tranny will line up with the tunnel.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to start doing some measuring as well on.
What do you think, Jones?
Pretty fucking sweet.
Plus the thickness of this metal.
2 1/4 plus 2 inches, I believe that was.
So it's got to go down 5 inches.
2 1/4, actually no, so 4 inches. Yeah, 5 would give us an inch clearance.
But then the intake too. Because the hood isn't that much taller right here because the cowl was just starting.
But luckily, as long as the intake.
Like I said,
But here's the thing: keep the intake below the oil fill.
we might actually, it'll only be the brake booster in the way to run those factory intakes.
dankest. I honestly think the tube down the middle would be the best method.
I think so too, because then if we ever want to boost it or anything.
Yeah. I just have the throttle body sitting somewhere here where we can
Grab that rad support piece. It would actually still fit in there.
It might actually.
And that sits roughly there. It just.
We would have to do a tiny bit of clearancing, I think.
But we'd have to mount the rad on the front side instead of the back side.
Which, yeah. Get rid of these air tanks. That's fun. Can we upgrade your things to electric motors?
Yeah.
We'll do that and get rid of these air chambers. Because those things are going to be right in the fire.
I don't know how big those motors are though. They're expensive.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It'll actually clear better when the engine drops down a bit.
Yeah. See where everything sits at that point. Well, we got a problem, guys. Dipstick's right in the fucking road. Can't make it a bit.
God damn it.
We gotta scrap the whole project.
Stupid jag dipstick.
Hey, I have an idea. I know what we can do.
Got a knife?
No. We can plug a hole in the hood.
There you go.
Problem's
It's just fiberglass. It drills
It's
easy.
just so, you know, a passerby can
So-
check your oil for you.
So we had to put the jack under it with some blocks and put the intake manifolds on it and get the jack or the engine hoist out of the way so we could get all our Instagram pictures. And honestly, I sat in the cab and I looked out at it and I went, you know, with an engine like that, you don't even need a hood. But we're gonna drop it down for sure so we can put a hood in because we can't even put the bell housing on it right now. It's sitting about 6 inches too high at the back. So we got to do some measuring once we pull it out and see if we can even get it to drop 5 inches in this cross member, because I don't know if we'll quite get that much. But yeah, it is a big mamma jamma, and this thing is gonna be awesome if we ever get this done. But we've successfully done one project between us in our entire lives now, so we're going for 2 now. I just got to sit back and stare at it for a while because it's just my stupid idea that I've regretted ever since I said it and bought this engine is actually maybe gonna happen now. Man, that's crazy. And actually, if we drop it down 5 inches, those engine mounts are gonna be right where we need them.
My problem is that Crossmember ain't 5 inches thick.
That's what I was just looking at. But we can cut it and section it down and across. That's all we can do.
This is gonna be a little fun.
Oh,
I know what we
If
do.
it wasn't for the suspension mounts on it, I'd just build a tubular one myself.
Never mind, this won't work.
What?
Stupid Corvette bodies. I was gonna say, plan. 2-inch body lift, 2-inch spindle drop, and then we only have to take out like an inch or 2 out of that. Problem solved. But no, that doesn't work because fucking Corvettes. Because that's honestly what I planned on doing in the Firebird, was body lift and a suspension drop to get the hood clearance. Which would work like a hot can.
Pucks and drop spindles.
Yeah.
Oh man. Goddamn. We need to do something with that stupid distributor.
Oh.
Because if we got rid of the distributor and changed the oil sensor piece at the back,
We can drop those intakes down nicely.
well, you could
But
drop
then again,
the tube down in there.
honestly, it doesn't really matter as long
I only
as...
want the tube to sit about 2 inches max higher than this.
Yeah, like as long as we can keep it below the oil fill cap, we're fine. Because that's basically our
It'll be
reference.
higher than that. But like we gotta look at the hood and measure where the cowl starts. Because the back of this will fit no problem, probably to about here. Back half of the engine as it sits now, and the whole thing's gonna drop 5 inches too.
You know,
Well, let's pull it out.
I guess. Let's scribe some marks in that Crossmember before we rip it out. Welcome to Sketch City, y'all.
Yeah, welcome to Sketch City. I am the power plant now. So, to fit the V12, we gotta notch this cross member. And when I say notch, I mean take the whole center out of it, drop it down, and put it back in, or make our own. And basically, it's everything in between the A-arms. But now that I'm in here, if you want to pass me the camera, Steven, I gotta show you guys this. So now that I'm in here, I just took a wire brush and cleaned off all the schmegma on this beast. This has been re-welded in, and it's been welded up the side, on both sides. And then this one here doesn't actually fit, because I think this is a driver's side one, because it's identical to the driver's side one. So she's had some sketchy repairs in the past. I mean,
So let's make it sketchier.
who knows what's been done to it. I mean, it's what, 50 years old almost, 45 years or something stupid like that. So yeah, so now we just marked it at 10 inches. We know we need about 11 inches of room, so I'm going to cut it at 10, and then we can widen it up a little bit.
See where everything else sits in relation.
Because if we use this factory centerpiece, we got to drop it down anyway, or we might just build our own. We haven't decided yet. We kind of got to see what we think is going to be heavy enough. Normally you'd want to gusset the frame before you cut one cross member on it, but we're just going to assume that this front crash bar that's bolted to the frame is going to be enough for us. Because as Steven said, welcome to Sketch City. So yeah, let's get cutting.
Here, we've cut the cross member out.
This is wee shit, I did it.
Oh yeah, Mike.
I actually did some work today.
Yeah, so the cross member's out. There's our hunks of old steel. We're gonna put the engine in. We got about 12 inches across all around, and the Jag only requires 11. So we're gonna plunk her in here and see how everything fits.
We're gonna set it in. We're gonna put jack stands and a jack under it, and then we're gonna set the hood on
and see how well these engine mounts
fit.
fit
Yeah, we just
too.
stuff these engine mounts in there to see what kind of angles we're looking at. But like I said, we're gonna put it on engine or on the jack and the jack stands, and then we're gonna put the hood on it. Just set the hood on and see what kind of clearance we have. So
Yeah, let's get cooking.
fingers crossed.
Okay, guys. V12 is set in there again. Hopefully close.
It's gotta come ahead about a half inch, but it's good enough for now.
So we're gonna test fit the hood and see if it clears. Look at this big, strong man.
Take the other side.
Grab here nicely.
Don't latch the back. Hang on.
That's been the biggest bugger trying to get this hood to
Does it hit anything?
clunk in. I don't know. No. Well,
My hinge is fuckless. There we go.
the hood fits.
We had a better look at the engine mounts, and we think, I know there's not much light there, guys. We think we can use the factory Jag ones, and then I'll just cut my my horns off the frame, and we'll build new ones. Yeah, the engine's sitting pretty much where it needs to go. It needs to come forward about a 1/2 inch, but it's pretty much where it needs to be. And then when we build the engine mounts, we'll get it level. The other thing that Steven was pointing out, this oil pan, the oil cooler line comes straight out the bottom right here. So we're gonna have to plan for that when we do the Crossmember. Last night we stared at this thing for probably 2 hours and made plans on how to do things. We're gonna go shopping for a power steering pump that uses a V-belt that's got a remote mount reservoir on it. And we may have to reverse mount the alternator, but I think we can make that work. The other thing with these Jags is they must have had a huge oil cooler on them, because like the oil cooler lines are like 3/4 inch line. So there's a couple 3 holes in the front bumper at the bottom. You can see, I'm thinking in the outside too, I can put 2 remote oil coolers with their own little fans, and that should be enough for the oil cooling. But yeah, it's in there. The other thing is we're gonna have to make custom headers. I'm pretty sure, because it does not look like we can fit the factory front halves around the A-arms. Okay, so Jag 5.3 liter V12 in a 76 Corvette. After test fitting the engine, initial thoughts are, it looks awesome. It's so cool. Not a smart plan, because it's just the physical size. After I bought this, I realized that if I'd have got a BMW V12, they're about 6 inches or 4 inches or something shorter, which would have completely, pretty much, well, almost completely alleviated my issue with the Crossmember. I think they're lighter, and they should have been, even in the early 90s, I think they were a fully sequential fuel injection, so I wouldn't have to redesign the wheel like I'm doing here. But last time I found one for sale, because I had one in my Kijiji, which is like Canadian version of Craigslist, Kijiji favorites forever, and it wasn't selling, but the guy wanted like 3,500 bucks. I paid 500 bucks for this one, and while we were there, we got that independent rear suspension for 300 bucks, which was nothing for Steven's Firebird. So, plus there's other guys that are doing the BMW one. I saw a guy did the Mercedes V12. There's a guy on YouTube, Wesley Kagan, I think his name is. The guy, I've watched some of his videos. He's extremely intelligent. He's doing free valve technology on a Miata. He's doing a BMW one with ITBs and everything, which is awesome. It's just out of my financial range to do something like that, because ITBs would be cool on this, but the ITB setup is extremely expensive, and I don't have a 3D printer or any kind of talent to run something like that. So I'd have trouble making the little adapters he had for his throttle bodies. If you like any of what I'm doing, go watch his videos. The guy, like, I've watched a few, extremely intelligent, like really smart. Like, he's doing his own coding and everything. Like, it's worth watching. But anyway, I digress. We're gonna keep hammering away on this thing, doing what we can right now with what we have. I gotta save up a little bit, the bell housing for this thing. We were talking about custom building one and just getting a couple flanges laser cut and custom building to fit a T5 behind it, but there is a company that makes one. Actually, I think there's 2 companies that make a bell housing to put a Mustang T5 behind this. There's gonna be a lot of head scratching, and hopefully other people have good ideas, because we're gonna need them. But yeah, anyway, I'll cut it there, guys. Thanks for listening to the rambling. Thanks for watching. It seems like a lot of people are pretty interested in any of the other V12 videos I put out. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you feel inclined, please subscribe. It helps us out. Comment, hit that like button. It all helps out big time, guys. Our ultimate goal is to start being able to make our hobby pay for itself. So we're not doing anything we weren't going to do before. The only difference now is it takes longer to do because we have to film it. But we figured worst case scenario, nothing changes. Best case scenario, maybe we'll start making a little bit of money on YouTube and it can pay for itself. But yeah, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Barkley Build. And for more of Steven's shenanigans and my rambling, be sure to check out some of the other videos. We're still cranking out videos on Steven's step side. We're just doing little things on it now, getting it ready for the race. So take it easy, guys. We'll catch you next time.